tonight we're going to talk about something that's real critical, and I actually believe it is the one thing that affects everything in your life. For 10 years, I was a high school girls basketball coach. For 2 years before that, I was an elementary boys basketball coach. And I would tell you that confident kids will try anything. And this is very important. Insecure kids will not place themselves in a position to fail. You follow what I'm saying? And if I could tell you how I see this affecting people today, like you can't imagine how I see it affecting people today. So salespeople that I coach that won't talk to anybody, or go to a networking event, or spend any time with somebody else, or put themselves in a position to fail. So many years ago when I was a high school basketball coach, I made a note, and here was the note that I made on a napkin. Confidence is the one thing that affects everything. Those that have it go out into the world and do big things. Those that don't. Everybody with me? So tonight I'm going to break this concept down for you, and then we're going to do some exercises on how to build your confidence, because this is a very important, very, very important concept. So first I want to think of it like this. If I ask you what confidence was, what would you tell me? What would you tell me a definition of confidence is? What would you tell me? Are no wrong. Now here's the deal. Confident people are not afraid to speak up. Confident people are not afraid to speak up. I know the first thing, here's what we think. Oh my gosh, somebody's going to laugh at me. Somebody's going to say something about me. Somebody's going to, right? So insecure people always hide. Confident people go, I got an answer. Whether the answer is right or wrong. They're not afraid to speak out, right? So what about over at this table? Give me a definition of confidence. What does confidence mean to you? Not fail on purpose, okay? Will they try things? Now, let me ask you a question. Could you try things and fail? Does that make you a failure? No. The only failing is not trying. And that's something you don't really learn as you're growing up. Like I try things every day. Some of them work, some of them don't work. That's not failure, okay? So I want you to think of confidence like this. Confidence is either something that adds to your life or it's something that subtracts from your life. And when I say add, I want you to think of like momentum and energy. When you're confident, it's like you're in a flow, you're in a rhythm, you're moving. Okay? When you're not confident, it's like you're scared and in like a defensive posture. Okay? So think about this. Confident people take risks, they pursue uncomfortable situations, they try anything. Insecure people contract and retreat. So the question is, why do people become insecure? If I were to ask why you think people become insecure, what's the number one reason you think? Yes? Criticism from other people. Here's one of the biggest things about confidence that you got to get, and if you don't get anything else tonight, you got to get this. Your confidence is yours, not anybody else's. My confidence is mine. It's not yours. I only get myself in trouble when I take my confidence and I give it to you. So how would I do that? I let you determine what I'm worth. How you feel about me, how you think about me, how you talk about me. Right? That is taking my confidence and giving it up to you. So I want you to think of confidence is, it's mine. I want to put it in a safe and I want to protect it, and I'm not giving it to anybody else. It's a very hard concept to understand, because the first time someone says a negative thought about you or a negative comment about you, or you're not pretty, or you're not this, or you're not tall enough, or you're not this, whatever the case may be, when you're not confident, you listen to them. They define who you are. When you are confident, you define who you are. So I put it right here. This is the road to confidence. Confidence is the memory of success. It is the memory of success. Like my mind remembers when I did something. Now think of some area in your life right now that you feel very confident in. And is it because you've done something or had some level of success in something? You've achieved something in that area. You've practiced in that area. You've focused in that area. So the question becomes, here's what the question becomes. How do I have some success? Success comes from one thing, doing. Now, you're going to hear as you get older these theories about mastery, of how people that really master things do something for 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours of practice in an area, and a person becomes really, really, really good at it. And when you watch them do it, they make it look real easy. Like, how many of you have like an artist or entertainer you listen to? Like, you listen to their music, and you really like their music. And you go watch them maybe perform, or if you go to a concert and you watch them, and it looks so easy to them. They seem so confident. How many hours have they practiced? How many times have they done that? How many times have they worked that muscle? Okay? So I want you to remember, my confidence is really just my memory of me doing something good. Okay? Success comes from what? Say it with me. Success comes from doing. It's like working a muscle. The more you work that muscle, the stronger it gets, right? So there is no failing. There is only trying. We have a new guy on my team, and he's only been here 2 or 3 days. Here's what I said. You ain't going to know everything in 2 daes. All I want to see out of you every day is effort. Just try. Pick up the phone. Call people. Talk to people. Understand what I'm saying? Like I don't expect you to know everything in 2 days. Here's what I don't expect. You to just wait on somebody to tell you what to do. Just take initiative. Initiative means confident people. When you were talking about this earlier, confident person sees an opportunity and goes and gets that opportunity. They don't wait on somebody to bring that opportunity to them and put it in a nice bow. Like, they take action on something. When they see an opportunity, they have the confidence to go do it. So here's what I would tell you. Our schools, many times, and I was a teacher for a long time, and I went to college for a long time, but what they don't teach you is we see failure as a negative thing growing up. We can't fail. We can't mess up. So we don't try a lot of things. I would tell you that you need to try as many things as you can, and some of them you're going to fail at. And some of them are going to be good, and some of them are going to be bad, and that's part of it. So just remember this. My confidence is mine, not yours. My confidence is mine, not yours. Okay? Now, when you think about this confidence, here's what I want to show you. What if I could help you build like an indestructible confidence that could never be broken? Like, you are so confident, you have such a belief in yourself, you will try anything, you'll work, right? Like, how could you build that? Do you know somebody like that right now, yes or no? How many of you know a person that you think is really confident? Okay? Sure. When you're thinking about this, I want to get to a good point right here. This is the whole person. Let's say you have knowledge. That's the mind. So you could be real smart in an area. Let's say you have skill. That's the body. And you know how to do something. But let's say you have heart. That's desire, passion, drive, get up and go, want something. But you don't have confidence. What does it matter to have all the knowledge in the world with no confidence? What does it matter to have all the skill in the world with no confidence? What does it matter to have all the effort in the world with no confidence? You see how important the confidence piece is? Without confidence, you won't even take the knowledge you have and do anything with it. You won't go into new environments. You won't meet new people. You won't try new things. Okay? So I want to show you through an exercise. We're going to do an exercise here. We're going to work on confidence because confident people exude confidence. Now, we were on a plane the other night with a country music singer that I knew who he was, but my wife didn't know who he was. Okay? And we're at the airport flying back from Los Angeles, and we're coming back, and I see this country music singer, and I go, I know who that dude is because I saw him play 10 years ago at Judge Bean's barbecue place, playing at a little bitty barbecue joint 10 years ago, 20 people. And he's kind of climbed up the ladder and become more successful. And I was in the back of the plane, and he'd come toward the back of the plane, and we're both getting up to use the restroom, and I just started talking to him. Now, number one, most people don't talk to famous people because they're afraid to. They're like, oh, that person's famous, so I don't want to talk to him. Like he's just a person, like I am. So I started engaging with him. Hey, how you doing? I like your music. He's like, hey, well, how are you doing? Tell me a little bit about you. And after he left, I turned to my wife, and I said, that's so-and-so. And he's a famous country music singer. Here's what my wife said. My wife said, I knew he was famous or somebody by the way he carried himself. She said, I didn't know who he was, But I knew he was somebody by the way he got on the plane, by the way he stood up, by the way he looked around, by the way he talked to people. Like she knew there was something. Now, let me tell you why that's important, because there was 300 people on that plane. She didn't say that about one other person. But that person exuded confidence. So part of being confident is the way you carry yourself, how you sit up with a good posture, and how you keep your head up and walk into a room, and how you shake hands and meet and greet people, and how you understand what I'm saying? Like part of confidence is you telling yourself, I'm a confident person. The first sale you got to make every day is to your own self. You have to tell your own self. So in the morning, I tell myself, I am a person of interest. People are counting on me to show up. My positive energy will be greater than any negative energy I face today. Everybody with me? Who am I coaching? I'm coaching my own self. So when you guys see me do videos, I'm doing those videos. I've already coached myself. I've already told myself. I've already affirmed myself. And here's what I said. I'm not giving my confidence up to nobody today. Nobody can say anything bad enough about me that I lose my confidence. Nobody can do anything, I'm going to lose my confidence. So we're going to do a little exercise here, okay? So I want you to, we're going to work on how you walk into the room. This is one of the number one things I want to show people, because most kids walk into the room with their head down and they don't want to make eye contact with people. That is the posture of insecurity. Don't call on me. Don't talk to me. Let me see if I can sit in the back of the room, right? Now let me tell you something. When I was in college, my whole first year, I wore a baseball hat down over my head, didn't talk to anybody, didn't look at anybody, went from my class like this. I went between classes like this. I didn't talk to one person, hoping nobody would talk to me. I was so insecure. I was so non-confident. And I was 18 years old. Does that make sense? Now today I do television shows, I do all kinds of stuff today. But at 18, I was insecure. So we're going to work on 3 things. And this is in your workbook. This is an exercise in your workbook. We're going to stand up and we're going to walk in the room. And when we walk in the room, we're going to walk in with a good posture. Head up, right? Head up. And what we're going to do is we're going to go meet another person. So it'll be like you walking over to him. You're going to reach out and shake his hand. You're going to look him in the eye. Okay? And you're going to say, what's your name? What's your name and where are you from? What's your name and where are you from? You know, when I meet people all over the world, first thing I say, well, tell me what your name is. Now, where are you from? People talk about, well, I'm from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Good. Good. I live in Murfreesboro. Okay? And then we start a conversation. And I just talk to people. What's the biggest thing you got going on right now? What are you most excited about? Tell me a little bit about your family. Give me 2 minutes about your life. Like I just talk to people all day long. Now let me tell you why that's critical. They asked Warren Buffett, who's a famous investor, if he would invest in a college student and how much would he invest. And here's what he said. If they've had a communication course or if they've had a speaking class, he would invest $50,000 in them right now. If they could communicate and if they could speak to other people, he would invest in them right now. Most people can't communicate and they can't interact with each other. I can't tell you how this one skill will change everything for you. So here's what I'll do. I want you to stand up. The parents don't have to stand up. Y'all can sit there. Stand up. And then I want you to walk right over there like we're coming back into the room. E, come on. Do this exercise. You guys can do it too. Look at y'all. Keep that posture up. Keep them stand up. Come right over here. Good. Let's get in a single file line here. Okay, now turn around this way. All right, you get right in line with them. There's two. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to walk back to where you were sitting, but I want you to get your head up when you walk in. Everybody you see, that is another human being. I want you to say hi to them. So when you walk in, I want you to say hi to them, and hi to her, and hi to the camera, and hi to them, and hi to them. I want you to walk around. I want you to say, hey, how you doing? And then I want you to go to your seat. Then I want you to go meet another person that you didn't come with. And I want you to shake their hand, and I want you to look them right in the eyeball and say, hey, how you doing? What's your name, and where are you from? Everybody ready? All right, let's see how our confidence looks. All right, come on in. Hi to them. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Get your head up. Get your head up. Get your head up. Good. Say hi to those folks over there. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Now, once you get down here, I want you to go meet another person and shake their hand. Go meet another person and shake their hand and ask them, how are you? Where are you from? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Head up. Head up. There you go. Look at each other in the eye when you shake hands. This is good for you. Trust me. Trust me. Shake hands. All right, now, get you a seat. Get you a seat for a second. Now, here's what I want you to say. The only reason we don't want to talk to other people is because we're afraid of their opinion. Everybody with me? So I want to show you how to do this. I want you to come up front with me. Come up front. Stand right over there. Now, when you're thinking, all right, good. First name again? Joseph. Joseph. All right. Now, when you turn, here's a big thing. When you're talking to a person, you need to turn your whole body toward them. Okay? Here's how I know if a person's interested in what I'm saying. I look at their feet. If I'm talking to Joseph and my feet, and I'm doing this right here, what am I doing? What am I really saying? I'll say I'm trying to get away from Joseph. See my feet? Trust me, the next time you're talking to a person you don't want to talk to, and you're trying to get away from them, look at your feet. You'll be sitting there talking to them like this. When you really are confident, you're going to turn your posture to that person and look them right in the eye. And when you shake hands, you're going to have a firm handshake and look them right in the eye. Hi, Joseph, I'm Coach Burt. Who are you?
Joseph.
Where are you from, Joseph?
Murfreesboro.
Nice. Murfreesboro. What grade are you in? Eighth grade. Going into 8th grade. Right. What's your hobbies?
Hiking, tennis, and golf.
Good. What does this concept of confidence mean to you?
Succeed in life and doing what you like.
Yes. Doing it well?
Yes.
Doing it so good. Now, when you're at tennis, do you practice this one time? How often do you practice?
Well, not really. I don't really practice.
When you're playing tennis, how often do you play? Yeah. Now let me ask you a question. Do you get good at something by not practicing? Yes or no? When you play a sport, how often do you practice? Every day. A lot. To be good at something, you work a muscle. You work a muscle. You work a muscle, right? This is no different. Confident people work the muscle. Okay? All right. Thank you, Joseph. You can go sit down. Good job, Joseph. Give me a hand, everybody. Come on. Now, do you know, let me ask you a question. How many of you have had a class in school on how to walk into a room and meet and greet other people? Right? Never had a class in that, Harry. Do you know how important that is? Imagine if this whole room was full of people and you walked in here and all of the opportunity you were looking for, all of the connections you needed, all of everything that you were looking for was in the room, but you were afraid to talk to anybody else about it. Everybody see that? Now I want you to think about this. All of the opportunity that you're looking for is through connections to other people. All the networks, right? Back in the day, I used to speak for your mom at the Healthcare Association. And then that opened me up to speak at other healthcare associations. Then it opened me up to the healthcare market. All through connections to people. You understand what I'm saying? But here's the deal. What if you have something that I want, but I'm scared to ask for it? Like I'm teaching my team right now, who are all grown adults, how not to be afraid to ask for something from another person. Can you help me do this? Would you like to participate in this? Or would you like to take action today? What would stop you from making a decision? Have you seen enough to make a decision? Like, this is hard. You know why? We were never taught that early in life. We were taught, don't ask, don't bother, don't do any of these things. And let me tell you something. That ain't how life works. That ain't how life works. If Joseph has something that I want that can help me, I got to have enough guts and courage to ask Joseph for it. I need help, Joseph. Can you help me? Okay? And so we call that removing a hesitation. Confident people have all these hesitations. I'm afraid to talk to this person because of what they say. I'm afraid to go to this event because of what they say. I'm afraid to do this because of what people say. So what we do is we just stay right here and we don't do anything. That's insecurity. So when you hear me say contract, an insecure person contracts, an insecure person plays scared. So what they constantly do is they kind of hide. They don't want anybody to see them. They don't, and because of that, they don't have enough opportunity. They don't have enough opportunity. Okay? Now, let me talk to you about a common thing that a lot of people face, which is rejection. When a lot of people associate confidence with rejection. Okay? Now, give me a definition of what you would say rejection is. Anybody want to take a shot at it? Yes, ma'am. That's right. When somebody turns you away. Now, here's what I want you to start thinking. My daughter is 6 years old. She's an only child. She has no siblings. So she has nobody to play with other than Daddy. When we go out to parks and these things, my daughter immediately gravitates toward other kids. She is just dying to have a sibling. You understand what I'm saying? And she will go play with some of those kids, and she will walk up to any person, any stranger, what I'm saying about any kid, stranger she don't know, she'll just walk up and start playing with them. Sometimes, though, I've noticed that some of those kids don't want to play with her. And she can't understand why. So she comes back to me, and she's like, Daddy, why don't they want to play with me? Like she can't understand, right? And it hurts her feelings. She'd be like, why don't they want to play with me? What is she feeling? Rejection. Perceived rejection. But what if I told you some people don't want to play with me? So I have a philosophy about rejection. There is no such thing as rejection. It's some mental construct somebody created. Some people will, some people won't. So what? Some people will be interested in what you have. Some people will want to partner with you. Some people want to be involved with you. This is one of the biggest things I ever come when I wrote the book on confidence. This is one of the biggest things I took away. There is no such thing as rejection. I'm only looking for people that are looking for me. Everybody see that? So if I go to present an idea to a person and they don't like that idea or they say something negative about me, I've already covered this tonight. Number one, their opinion of me doesn't determine my confidence. And they're not rejecting me. Now let's say you leave here tonight. We got a new Toots restaurant out by our house. And I'm excited. But let's say we choose to go to Jason's Deli versus Toots. Are we rejecting Toots? Tonight we weren't interested in eating at Toots, but we may be interested in eating at Toots tomorrow night. We weren't rejecting one over another. We just wanted something different. That's how you got to start thinking. You may want to be involved in things, and they may not want to be involved in you, but that doesn't mean they're rejecting you. They just may want something different than what you have to offer. Everybody see that? I really wish at some point somebody would have taught me that. Because here's what I've made a note today. Confident people are independent of the good opinion of others. We seek approval. We seek for people to like us. We seek for us to get, oh, you did a great job. We seek that approval. Confident people are independent of how the opinion of other people. Does that make sense? Now, I put a lot of videos out and I do a lot of things. And for the most part, early on in my career, nobody was really negative toward me. Because it was all people I knew. And most of the people I knew wouldn't be mean to me. When I started putting out videos that got hundreds of thousands of views, or we started promoting my videos all over the world, you can't imagine how mean people could be. What kind of comments people could make about me, about my wife, about my daughter, about my hair. Like it's crazy what people would say about me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like these people don't even know me. They've never met me before. They have they're making an assessment of me based on a video. And they're saying all these mean and negative things to me. And my first tendency was, why don't they like me? But my second tendency was, who cares if they like me or don't like me? Some will, some won't. So what? I want you to say it with me. Some will, some won't. So what? I want you to remember this. Say it one more time. Some will, some won't. So what? The next time you feel like you're being rejected, here's what I want you to say. There is no such thing as rejection. There is no such thing. Some will, some won't. So what? Some will, some won't. So what? I'm only looking for people that are looking for me. We make sales calls all day long. Most of the people don't answer the phone. It can be incredibly disheartening. Like you feel rejected. They don't answer. They don't call back. They don't take your call. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you don't have a toughness about you, the first thing you want to do is quit. But you can't be successful and quit. Everybody with me? Now where did I say confidence come from? Confidence comes from, that's right. Where's confidence come from? Doing. So I can't quit and do. I can't be successful if I don't try. I don't try if I don't have confidence. Everybody see all this plays with each other? Okay? So when you're thinking about this, here's our second exercise. This is lesson number 4. And we're going to talk about this at your table. There is no such thing as rejection. Some will be interested, some will not. So what? You cannot advance ideas in the world on grand stages if you're sharing them one-to-one. You have to learn to articulate in front of people, meaning you got to learn to go out there and get in front of lots of people. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to talk at your table of a time that you felt like, man, I felt really rejected during that period. And I want you to take what you've learned tonight, and I want you to say, if I had to go back and do that over again, here's how I would have handled that situation. Because they really weren't rejecting me. Some were interested, some were not interested, and that's okay. There is no such thing as rejection. Okay? So I want you to talk at your table about a time that you felt like, hey, man, I didn't like how that felt. I didn't like how they treated me. Okay? So take a couple minutes right now and talk about that. When you think about working a muscle, there's repetition. So what you got to understand is confidence is a memory of success. Success happens through trying. So what happens when I work that muscle is I become confident in that one thing. And when I become confident in that one thing, it feeds more confidence. So I try something, it works, I try more. I try something, it works, I try more. I can't have confidence if I don't try. Okay? Now, when you try, you're going to feel like sometimes you're failing or you're getting rejected. Now, we've removed that out of your vocabulary because some will, some, so what? Don't matter. What I'm going to do is keep on moving. What I'm going to do is keep on trying. And I'm not going to let my confidence, I got some, thank you. I'm not going to let my confidence be determined by who? Anybody else outside of me. So look at all these little principles I have. No one's in charge of my confidence except me. I get confident by trying. There is no such thing as rejection. Some will, some won't, so what? Right? Like when you're thinking about this, that's how I want you thinking. And I want you talking to yourself. It's very important. How you talk to yourself matters. How you talk to yourself matters. Your self-talk really matters. Okay? Now the next time you don't get something that you want, I want you to think about this. When you don't get something you want, I like saying it like this. You can get better, you can get bitter. That's a good way of looking at it. And there's going to be times in life you don't get what you want. How you handle when you don't get what you want is very critical to your maturity process. Okay? Do you get emotional? Do you break down? Do you cry? Do you pitch a fit? Or do you just keep on moving? Because that's what the world is going to reward. Hey, this didn't work? No big deal. I'm just going to keep on moving. Hey, they didn't want what I had? It's okay. There's no such thing as rejection. Who's next? Like this is the mindset I got to train in you. And when I was a basketball coach, I'd say focus on the next play. Don't focus on the last play. Focus on the next play. You can't live in the past. The past is finite. Future is infinite. So these are my definitions of confidence. And I'm going to do a little exercise with you. Memory of success. I want you to think of an area right now you feel real successful in. Think of an area that you really feel like you can do good. Okay? It's also a knowing that you can create or manifest something you see in your mind. Now, when I was 22 years old, I started coaching at Riverdale High School. And Riverdale had never won a championship in girls basketball. But somehow, somewhere, I had developed the confidence about me that we were going to win a championship. And I began telling everybody, we're going to win a championship. And you know what people did? They laughed at me. They said, this is not a girls basketball school. This is a football school. This will never be a championship girls basketball school. You'll never do anything here. Like I heard it all the time, and I kept telling people, we're going to win a championship here. We're going to win a championship here. We're going to win a championship here. And I would go out, and my little team would go to a certain place, and then we'd get beat, then we'd go home. Then I'd go out to this place, and then we'd get beat, and then we'd go home. Then we'd go out to another place, and then we'd get beat, and then we'd go home. And every year I'd come back and go, we're going to win a championship. It took me 10 years. You know what's interesting about 10 years? 10 years is typically 10,000 hours of practice. 10 years of doing something and getting better at it represents 10,000 hours of practice. There are studies out there that say when you do something for 10 years in a concentrated effort and you're getting better at that, okay, then you ultimately master it. Now, how confident are you when you master something? Now, let me give you a stat. The average 20 to 30-year-old is changing jobs 24 to 37 times. They start, quit. Start, quit. Start, quit. Start, quit. Now, let me ask you a question. How good can you become at something when you start and quit it? And that's your cycle. I start new things and I quit new things. I start new things and I quit new things. This is a cycle. You got to build this muscle early on. This emotional toughness, this confidence about you, that you don't quit even when you don't feel like it. You keep showing up every day, okay? Now, look at the third one. This is what we're going to talk about for a second. Part of being confident is a distribution of your talents to the world. But first, you have to know what your talents are. So I look at it like this. Here's your talent. You have to find out what this is. So your talent is you're incredibly good at solving problems. You're incredibly good at communicating with people. You're incredibly good at making people feel comfortable. You're incredibly good at taking something complicated and making it simple. You're incredibly good at something. We have to find this because once you know what it is your talent is, then you distribute your talents to the world. If you are really good at distributing your talent. Now, I want you to go to those entertainers. Entertainers sing, perform. They're sharing their talent with the world. Okay? The better they are at sharing their talent with the world, what does the world do? What does the world do? I'm going to use a word over here. The world rewards them. How does the world reward them? That's right. First thing you'll think of is money. Like we buy their tickets. We go to see their shows. But what if I told you that you can also be rewarded with love, appreciation, recognition? The world, here's what the world says. You're good. You're good. There's nothing more powerful for me when I speak and I get finished and the whole room standing up, clapping and cheering. People want to come talk to me and take pictures with me and sign books. They're rewarding me. What are they saying? Thank you for sharing your talent with us. Thank you for doing what you do every day. You inspired me today. Here's what's happening. My talent is coaching, motivating, getting people excited about their future, instilling confidence in people. Well, when I distribute that through videos, through books, through coaching sessions, then if I do a good job, the world rewards me. It's this cycle. Now, let me tell you, what happens when the world rewards me? What does it do for my confidence? Goes up. But here's what if they didn't reward me? Now I told you a secret earlier, because not every group I speak to gives me a standing ovation. Not everybody buys my books. Are they rejecting me? There is no such thing. And I'm going to show you a little trick that I use. When you present ideas to other people, here is the number. When you present ideas to other people, 16% of those people are going to be interested in that idea. They're called innovators and early adopters. That means you share an idea with them, 16% of people are going to go, I like it, I'm in. What about the other 84%? See, I used to go into audiences and speak, and I would go in confident. I'm going to get everybody in the whole room. 100% of the people in here are going to buy my books, sign up for my programs, right? And I would go in and, man, I would punch it hard, and I would be good, and I would be confident. And then small percentage of people would come up there and buy my books. And I'd be like, man, what did I do wrong? Like, how could I get better? Like I walked out of there going, man, I just wasn't very good. I just wasn't very good. And I beat myself up. And then I learned the law of diffusion and innovation. And it says that when you present an idea to another person, 16% of people will be open to it. 34% of people will have to hear it 1 to 3 times. Or 3 to 7 times. Another 34% will have to see it 7 to 15 times. And 16% of people you present an idea to will never be interested in it. They're not open to it. They don't want to hear it. Don't matter how good it is. Everybody see that? I used to think those other 84% were rejecting me. So I'd walk out of there feeling like I didn't do something right. Now I know for every 30 people I talk to, you know what the number is? 4.8. For every 30 people I talk to, there'll be 4.8 that'll be interested. See how many people I got to go through? Now, why is that so critical to you? When you present your ideas to other people, you're going to say, well, they didn't like it, they didn't buy it, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? Why didn't they do it? Right? Here's the deal. If you knew how many times your favorite author who wrote a book you're reading was rejected, when I wrote Zebras and Cheetahs, it was turned down maybe 30 or 40 times. It was so, every time my agent would call me, here's what she'd say. Simon & Schuster passed, Random House passed, this person passed, they're not interested. And I finally said, look, don't call me back with any more bad news. Like the next time you call me, you better say you got a book deal. And she did. She said, let me tell you something. We got you a book deal, Coach Burt. But I heard no for a year straight, over and over and over and over. And I just kept going. I said, we're not stopping. We're just going to keep going. That's confidence. Everybody see that? That's confidence. So where did that confidence come from? A distribution of unique ability to the right audience. So I want to finish tonight with an exercise. This is in lesson 1 of the purple section. Lesson 1 of the purple section. I believe when you help your children find their talents, they're going to be more confident. And there's really no group qualified to do this. Churches don't help people find their talents. Schools don't help people find their talents. And I believe that when a person finds their unique talents, their confidence level goes up. Okay? So here's what I want to ask you, and I want you to fill this out. Okay? There's some pens right there if you need a pen. The way a person finds their talent, is by asking some key questions. Number 1, what do you love doing? What do you love doing? That's passion. Okay? That's the first question. What do you love doing? Do you love singing? Do you love helping people? Do you love doing math problems? Do you love studying outer space? And you can't say playing video games. It's okay to play video games. I just don't want that to be your primary skill, unless you can figure out a way to make money doing it. Okay? So number one, what do you love doing? How do I know if you love doing it? Miss Chelsea, how do I know when you love doing something at work? How does old Coach Burt know? When she's doing something she loves doing, her energy's up. When she's doing something she don't love doing, what's your energy?
My face is covered in my computer and
Yeah.
I'm sitting up straight.
Yeah, slumps over,
Not as confident.
energy low. When you are doing what you love doing, your energy level's high. I started coaching basketball at 15 years old. I loved the second I started doing it. I loved it. Like, I mean the second. It wasn't like I had to do it 10 years to figure it out. The second I started coaching, I'm like, I like this. This is fun. Now, if you got something right now in your life that you go, I love doing this, this is an indicator this could be a passion of yours. Also, what are you curious about? Let me ask it this way. If I told you tonight you could study anything you want on the internet for as long as you wanted to study it, what would you want to study? What would you want to study? Think about that. What would you watch? What would you study? Like, I studied speakers and coaches and personal development, all those things, okay? Number two, what are you naturally talented at? Now, how do you know if you're talented at something? How do you know if you're talented at something? Comes natural. Now, I didn't grow up riding horses, but my daughter loves riding horses. Ella Grace, come here for a second. I maybe rode one horse my whole life. Maybe. But my daughter loves riding horses, don't you? And she loves going to the horse barn. What else do you love over there?
When we go on the gator ride.
Say again?
When we go on the gator
When they go on the gator ride, okay? What about tacking and cleaning the horses and all that kind of stuff? So much so that she told me she already went and asked them when she could come work there. And they told her, how old do you have to be to work there? 10 years old. So at 10, you can start by being a little instructor, helping other kids at 10 over there. I didn't go in there and say, when can she work here? Can she do? She came home to us and said, I want to work at the horse barn. I love horses. Now, when you grow up, what do you think you want to do? I always ask her, does she want to run Daddy's Greatness Factories? She's like, no. Tell me, what do you want to do?
Be a champion horse rider.
Be a champion horse rider. She's 6 years old. Now, here's my point. As a dad, I see that in her. I see how much she loves it. She wants to go. If I said you could go to the horse barn 365 days a year, she'd go. And she comes home at the end of the day smelling like horses. Right, sweetheart? Then we got to get a good bath on. But here's my point. She loves it. Now, let me ask you a question. Could she make a living doing that, yes or no? Yes, she can make money running her own horse barns, training horses, training kids to ride horses. Like that could become her work. So when you're thinking about your passion, what you're thinking is, what do I love doing and what am I good at doing? That's what I need to be doing. And unfortunately, there's no classes in school on this. This is one of the worst things in the world. There ought to be a class in how to find your talents. It should be a whole semester, and you should have to work hard at it and talk about it and practice it. Okay? Everybody see that? So number one, what do you love doing? Number two, what are you good at doing? Now let me throw in number three. What is your conscience telling you should do? Now here's an example. I stopped doing things for kids. I worked with kids for 15 years of my life, right? 15 to 31, 16 years. And then for 10 years, I didn't do one thing with kids. Not one thing. But my conscience was constantly telling me, you need to be doing something for kids. You need to be doing something for kids. You don't need to waste that talent. So I put together a Kids Academy, which is an online academy. And you can watch my online academy every day. And like I'm coaching you right now, you could have my online academy and get coached by me every day. You log in on your iPad or computer, And you just watch it. And it's me popping up, and me coaching you on confidence and bounce back and rejection, okay? So my conscience was telling me, you need to do something for kids. Your conscience is like an internal voice telling you, you're supposed to do this. Many people don't listen to it. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this. Now, let me ask you a question. When you find a person, and we'll close on this. When you find a person that is in their talent area and they love what they're doing and they are good at doing it, how confident are they? And you're going to look at them and you're going to go, they are so good at what they do. And it looks so easy. You're going to look at them and go, how do they make it look so easy? You know why? Because they've been doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. It ain't easy. They just make it look easy. When you find these areas, this is going to help you perform at a much higher frequency. Does that make sense? Now, this workbook has 25 to 30 lessons that I have created. Okay? This goes along with the Kids Academy. So the Kids Academy, Chelsea, what is that, 97 bucks? Okay, so the Kids Academy is an online academy that you can have for a one-time fee of 97 bucks. And I watch it, Ella Grace and I watch it on my phone or iPad at night. And what I'll do is I'll watch a lesson. I'll do a lesson, typically 3 to 5 minutes long. The other night, I let her pick which lesson she wanted, and she picked one on money. So it talks about money as an exchange of money for value. Money is there's an exchange of money for services, right? So I asked her, what does she want to buy with her money? And what did you say? You remember? She wanted to buy a horse. Imagine that. So we went online. Excuse me, sweetheart. Don't lay on that. We went online and we looked at what is the average cost of a horse. And the average cost of a horse was $3,900. Okay? That was just a median average. There were cheaper horses, and there were more expensive horses. So then we got into a discussion about how do you pay for the horse? Where does the money come from to pay for the horse that you want? Right? Then she said, well, you got to have a business or you got to have something and you got to provide a service and then you get paid for that service. But my point to you is I'm having conversations with a 6-year-old about these things. I never had one conversation about money my whole life growing up. You see what I'm saying? Never. Like my mom never sat me down and talked to me about any of these things. So what I'm doing is my online academy is like, okay, let's watch a segment tonight. Let's talk about it. Let's watch it and let's talk about it. Here's a big one, resilience. Do you remember the definition of resilience? Like what resilience is? What is it? She knows. Bounce back. It's the ability to get back up when you get knocked down. Resilience is the ability to not quit. It's to keep getting up and getting up and getting up. Well, that's in my online academy. How do you become resilient? Okay? So I want you to take this and I want you to work through some of these exercises. Okay? Now let's review. Give me some. I want to go around the group and tell me one thing that you learned tonight. What about you? You trying not to look at me? Look at me. There you go. There you go. Tell me one thing. No one can steal your confidence unless you let them. Your confidence is whose? Yours. When you take your confidence and give it to somebody else, you have disempowered your own self and empowered another person to control you. Does that make sense? So think of your confidence as you have, the only person that's got a key to it is you. You got the key. Put it away and say, I ain't letting you bother it. You can't get to my confidence. This is really going to serve you well in life. What about you? That's right. That's a great line, isn't it? Let me tell you something. When I was you went to Riverdale? That's right. I knew there was a reason you were special. Now, here's the deal. When I was in college at 18 years old, I'm telling you, I was coaching basketball. So get started early and towards something. But I was so insecure. And let me tell you why. I grew up in a small town. And although I finished high in my class, like 8th in my class, I didn't feel smart. I had to take remedial classes in English and math. And I'm sitting there going, I finished 8th in my class. Like, why am I taking remedial courses? So I was embarrassed. Here I am in these courses. these, slow courses, like what's wrong with me? I literally did not talk to one other college student. Like I'm telling you, I wore a baseball hat and sat in the back row and tried to avoid eye contact with everybody. And I had a speech class in college where I had to get up in front of the class and give speeches. And I was so sick and nervous. And I got up there and was so afraid my other students would make fun of me. And I was talking about a fraternity that was there called Sigma Nu. And I was so naive, I called it Sigma Na. And the other kids started laughing at me. I was like, he don't even understand like how to say the fraternity names right? Now, what if I told you today that I speak on some stages where there's 10,000 people there? Still get nervous, still have anxiety, but I go right out there and hit it. Does that make sense? Do you know what kind of confidence you have after you speak on a stage with 10,000 people? And you're in a big arena? Man, it takes you to a whole nother level. You never have a problem speaking to 6 people, right? So I want to tell you that because I was there in college. I needed this to hear this in college, but nobody gave it to me. There wasn't a course on it then. Yes. Okay. So what she asked is, how do I feel about the concept of fake it till you make it? I think there's some truth to fake it till you make it. There's some truth in trying. You may not be there yet, but you want to get there, and you're in the game. Before I was a championship coach, you see the big championship ring? For a long time, I wasn't a championship coach, and I used to get around the championship coaches, and they wouldn't talk to me because you had to be in the club. And I just remember how I used to get so mad that they wouldn't pay attention to me. But I used that anger to go get better. And the more I got better, I kept getting better and better and better and better and better, faking it till I made it. And then they started going, this kid's going to be good. Like, he's going to make it. And then when I did make it, it was like, oh, we knew the whole time he was going to do it. My point is, I'm okay with you doing it until you make it. Faking it until you make it. Now, I'm going to use a saying. How many of y'all have ever heard, it's not what you know, it's who you know? You ever heard that? I would tell you, I'm going to add one more thing to it. It's not what you know, it is what you know, and it is who you know. But when you get in the room, you better know. Everybody see that? You may get into doors because of somebody you know, but if you're not good, you ain't going to stay in those doors. When you get in the room, people will figure out if you're the real deal or not. So I hear people say it's not what you know, it's who you know. I tell you, it is what you know, and it is who you know. And when you get there, you better know. Then people go, oh, that's legit. That's legitimate, okay? What'd you learn tonight? Biggest takeaway?
How to build up confidence.
That's right. Because this is going to be a skill set no matter what you do for a living. Almost every job today requires you to interact, interpersonal skills with other people. The reason we don't talk to people is because we'll use the word shy. I want you to understand something. How many of you ever been told you're introverted? They've even got schools now called quiet schools for introverted people. Here's what I would tell you. What if I told you there's times that I'm quiet and introverted? Would you believe me? There's times I don't talk to people. I go to events and I sit in the corner. I can also be extroverted. Introverted means to put inward, push inward. Extrovert means to push out. There's going to be times in your life you're introverted and times in your life extrovert. But don't ever buy the label, oh, you're an introvert, so you're shy and you don't talk to people. Right? Because I hear a lot of people, oh, don't be shy. Oh, she's shy. Oh, you're shy. Oh, this. That's a label. You don't want that label. Okay? I was shy at 18 years old. I ain't shy today. So you can work your way out of shyness. Okay? By doing. Okay? All right, ladies, what'd you come up with? That's right. And sometimes it's going to work out, and sometimes it ain't. Remember the saying I said about 30 people, for every 30 people, 4.8 of those people are going to be interested? Those are true numbers. 16% of people will be open to your ideas. The 84% are not rejecting you, by the way. You're just looking at it all wrong. So you try this, and they don't want you to be involved with it? Okay, hey, no worries. I'll go over here and do this. Or I'll do this. There's so much opportunity out there. I'm not missing opportunity. There's so many people in the world, guys. I was out in California last week and Las Vegas, and I was reminded how many people are out in the world and how much opportunity there is. We get scared because we play so local. All the opportunities right here in Murfreesboro. No. Planet Earth is opportunity. Everybody see that? But insecure people do what? Less than 90% of people live within 10 miles of where they were born. Very few people will ever leave and go anywhere. Why? It's comfortable. I don't want to leave Murfreesboro because I know everybody in Murfreesboro. It's comfortable. I would never go out to Los Angeles. I don't want to live in Los Angeles, but sure was pretty out there. Went to Huntington Beach and different parts of California, and it was beautiful. And I got off the airplane, it was 72 degrees. I'm thinking, it's 107 degrees in Nashville. It was beautiful, and beaches, and cool weather, and I mean, it was nice. And I didn't know that because I'd never been to Huntington Beach before. Follow what I'm saying? So what I'm telling you is, you get out to a big world, you're going to feel like there's some rejection. Oh, it didn't work. But you got to understand, there is no such thing. Okay? What'd you take away? And here's what I would say. Some will, some won't. So what? Keep on trucking. That's what you got to remember. Some will, some won't. As a matter of fact, the bigger you get, what I have found is the more successful I become, the more people take shots at you. The more people are negative toward you. Like here's the true story. I get treated the worst in the world in my hometown. Isn't that crazy? When I leave Murfreesboro, I get treated so differently than people from Murfreesboro. Right? There talks about that in the Bible as well. Jesus didn't perform any miracles in his hometown because of the way people saw him, the way people treated him. Okay? There's something about, okay? I ain't figured it out. I'm like, why? Why would you treat people like that? Especially the more successful they are. Why don't you be happy for them? Not be jealous of them or whatever it is. I don't even know if it's jealousy. I think it's just judgment. I think it's just judgment. Okay? Yep. That's right. That's right. Because not everybody's going to, you got to get out of your mind that every time you say something, everybody's going to like it. Here's a funny thing. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. That's the most friends you can have. Okay? Every day, almost every day, I wake up, I've got $49.99. Which means somebody unfriended me. And I'm like, who would unfriend me? I'm such a nice guy. I put out positive motivational stuff. Like, who wouldn't like me? And it's easy to focus on that one person versus the 4,999 that are there. But here's the funny thing. I got 200 friend requests that can't get in. So I have people tell me, I want to be your friend on Facebook, but I can't be because you got 5,000 people. Because I'll hit the button, like confirm, and it'll go unable to add friends at 5,000 limit, right? Here's the deal. Why would I focus on the one that left me when I have 200 more trying to get in the door? Does that make sense? But I'm telling you, it feels like a little thing of rejection when you see it. Oh, I lost a friend. Like if you don't have 5,000, you don't know you lost a friend. But when you have 5,000, every time you lose one, you're like, hey, I lost one today. Some days I lose two. And that's okay because I pick up two more, right? We just separate out the sheep and the goats, what I say, all right? And a risk is just placing yourself in a position where you could fail. Does that make sense? That's all a risk is, guys. Placing yourself in a position that you could fail. Listen, I want to thank you guys for coming tonight. This is uncommon teaching that we're teaching. I think there's a big need for it in our school systems. Now, I will tell you this. Which schools are using my online academy, Chelsea? Okay, so in Rutherford County, and my daughter's school, Middle Tennessee Christian, is using it. So they're actually having their kids watch my stuff. Middle Tennessee Christian, Oakland Middle, Las Casas, and the alternative schools. They're having their students watch this academy that I'm talking about. And they're doing it as part of their curriculum. Because I asked the principal at Middle Tennessee Christian, where my daughter goes, I said, where's my daughter going to learn I love everything you're doing. What class is my daughter going to learn confidence in? He said, well, we don't have a class on that. What class is she going to learn how to bounce back when she gets knocked down in the world? Well, we don't have a class in that one either. Where's she going to learn how to connect with other people and interact and be interdependent and lead a group of people? And where's she going to learn how to sell herself? And, well, we don't have a class in that either. And I said, well, I have a class on that. And your school needs to be using it. And you know what? To his credit, you know what he said? You're right. And they bought it for the school, and the school is using it. And they're going to continue to use it next year. Does that make sense? He saw that they needed this stuff. So if you don't get it at school, you got to get it somewhere, guys. You got to get it somewhere. So if you're interested in getting the online academy, see Chelsea. She'll take care of you. Everybody that came tonight, thank you for coming and spending a good hour of your life with us. It means a lot to me, okay? All right. God bless you. Thank you very much.